Okay, so next VOD is BodyShotKing, and he's playing a McCree Tracer.
Anybody got Mike?
How's it going, brother? Just too slow.
Howdy.
Hey there. Acknowledge. I hear you, pumpkin. I hear you, pumpkin.
Right off the bat here, since you're McCree, this Orisa, she's gonna have to reposition her shield, and it's most likely gonna be around the corner here, or next to the corner. So your default position should be more to the left instead of to the right, because you're gonna fall back with the Orisa. Soldier, on the other hand, he doesn't have to be as much to the right side because he has sprint and he can dodge shots, hooks, etc. And he can also reposition himself really quickly. Is aim or game sense more important for Widow? Both are equally important. Pseudonym. And both are equally important for every hero, basically. Not every hero. It's not equally as in 1-to-1 ratio, but aim is trained the same way game sense is trained. Basically, by playing the game, when you miss shots and you try to hit a shot, you automatically you practice every time you miss or hit a shot, basically, without thinking about it. And game sense is something that you learn by trial and error. Same with aim. So for Widow it's in my opinion 1-to-1 ratio. But for example, if you're playing Tracer, it's more about game sense than aim, because of blinks and recall. And then if you're playing Winston, it's way more game sense, but there's still some aim, because you have to juggle correctly, you have to zap efficiently and all that, and you have to jump also in good way, and you have to aim, you know, your jumps. But they usually have around the same importance for almost all heroes.
Okay, they've got a Bastion. Oh, Hogs went nice. Oh, back up.
A bit unfortunate that your Orisa dies, but you fell around. You fell back with Orisa in a good way. She should have had her shield up. The way you fall back now is good as well. Just be careful with hooks. Yeah, be careful so you don't get hooked, so that what you can do is you can bait the hook, but I'll show in a second here. So when the hog comes here, you shoot, you stand right here, or you don't move further to the right. Instead, aim to his head and start moving to the left side. And you just shoulder pick him and make him use his hook. Once you hear that the hook is gone, you can start headshotting him and go for a flash. Use the flash as he's healing as well, so you deny the heal. You can also outplay him with the hook by rolling, but that's a bit like harder, but definitely try and mix it up sometimes. Like, it's a good way to make a hog overcommit when he's alone. So let's see, Hanzo uses ult. If you stand still and headshot him, he won't finish his ult here. But you start moving away from the dragon, expecting that the dragon comes out, and it sort of ruins the second shot.
Oh, Genji on the left. Got him.
That's a nice kill. Instead of pushing here, you can push with your team, and you can use your high noon as a reload and just keep shooting headshots.
More Hanzo's one. Let's back to full.
So right here would have been a good high noon when he moves back in. So you press high noon, they might just shield up, but the skull on Hanzo will be so quick since he's like 1 HP or whatever. Not 1 HP, but 2 bars, and you just press it as soon as you see it.
Hanzo's 1. Goes back to full now.
And you're shooting up your high noon really quickly as well. You won't get much value from high noon anyways. In general, I mean.
Let's push up a little bit.
Be careful with pushing up because they have a hog.
Try and hold this corner here.
Let's see. Oh, hog died, so it's totally fine. Your Orisa seems to not be coming with you, so you should be heading back. You almost got hooked by the enemy Rodog since you overstayed a bit. Wait, did he hook? Ah, he didn't hook, he only shot. But then comes the hook. And you dodge it, that's fine. Now is a perfect time to just use your high noon to zone the push with Valk. They're not gonna push up, but you deny a few seconds of the Valk and they get less value.
Watch out, right side.
Nice kill. I think you can stand right here, here, or here. Basically on this platform. And that way you have eyes on the flanks over here, 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 and also here. In my opinion, it's not only you that should have eyes, but in ranked, people don't call out all the time, you know, when someone's flanking and all that. And you sort of have to play for your own life sometimes. Or very often. Not sometimes, very often. And in higher ranks, you will have more pocket. In scrims or pugs, etc., you will often be pocketed as McCree, and your team will do a lot of work for you. But as I mentioned, in ranked, you have to do a lot of work yourself when it comes to keeping yourself easy to pocket. And we know that there was a Rodog coming or behind somewhere, behind the wall. So yeah.
Back up.
I guess what you can do instead, because it's kind of easy to say, oh, you should just keep eyes on everything. Instead, what you should do is ask the team is, where's Hog, where's Hog? If you don't know, because that way you start thinking about Hog yourself. Also look at where your teammates are looking. So if everyone is looking at the Genji, you can look somewhere else. Just to scout, because it's only one Genji, one Dragon, whatever. And the kill might be picked by someone else and you don't really need to kill yourself. And that way you can spread out the attention of the team in terms of scouting. Try, if you get to this point, let's say that you can't hit the shots, just press high noon and force her to shift. She won't be able to escape, and you're gonna walk up, even if you don't get the kill. It's a totally worth high noon. You high noon, she's not gonna get ult charge, she might not even kill you or anyone else, and you might get the kill on her, as well as you just reset the fight much quicker. Or you can also headshot, but it takes a bit more time, and she might have shift, her face and all that. use the fan of the hammer when you want to break Ryan's shield, because fan the hammer is great when you don't need to headshot, for example shields, and you press out more DPS that way. When the shield drops, then you want to start headshotting again and single tapping.
Alright, hog on the left. Watch out for
Nice
Genji.
headshots.
Their Rhyme probably has Shatter.
Also, with bongos, High Noon is a great combo because it's essentially like damage boost High Noon. Definitely High Noon versus the Genji, because he's gonna be forced to deflect, he can't dash to you. But if you wait, he's gonna kill whatever he is killing, dash back, and then possibly go for you as well. Or someone else. And you just get quicker kills on Genji.
Nice.
And you might even deny the kill on the bridge.
Ryan's low, we can kill him. Nice.
Yeah, watch out for hog hooks, like max range hooks. And you have to sort of eye measure it.
Junkrat top. Reaper on the left. Junkrat top.
Stand by the shield and just try to headshot the Reaper. You have more damage, better survival than he has, and better survival than he has. And save your flashbang until he shifts, or until like when he's 50% HP. And you're basically the natural counter for Reaper because of headshots and flash.
Reaper on the left.
He has to come close, like he has to come to you to do damage. So instead of you walking to him, he can walk to you.
Check for Reaper.
Yeah, for 3.5 minutes. I mean, it happens, BodyShot. Like, High Noon never really gets a ton of value anymore. So, I think it's just worth it to use it as reload during fights, or to just zone, like during Genji Blade. You can finish off 1 HP targets that aren't behind a shield, and much more.
Touch cart, touch cart. Reaper's on one on cart, one on cart.
I think the last fight right here was your shot to clean it off, basically, or clean it up. After the team dies here and like are forced to move back and like have this awkward hold, they can just hide behind the payload, heal up. Moira has a ton of efficiency, and yeah, then you have to give up the point.
Dead. Coming back to him, we're like right behind him.
Wait. Okay, so let's see. Cart is on bridge right now.
Dead. Coming back to him, we're like right behind him.
They're pushing in. Cart is by the corner. Not even by the corner. Okay. Yeah, this yeah, so you have no fight there. Okay. So the Orisa is basically putting her shields like inefficiently, kind of really inefficiently. And I guess she was afraid of the tire coming in for her. But since Like if the shield goes out here as Orisa or before the corner, you have to all in with the enemy or with the team so that you can have another fight here. It's kind of unlikely though. Yeah, it's unfortunate that you only have... Oh, wait. So you respawn, Orisa respawns. Oh, you shouldn't walk up here, dude. You should definitely not walk up, because they haven't capped yet, and you want one last fight, and that last fight is gonna be here with Orisa shield. Right here. And you wanna avoid getting hooked. Oh yeah, getting a ton of spam to you. And shield comes right after. This Orisa, she's too afraid of holding far up though. So even if you wouldn't have died, the Orisa would have been too afraid. Actually, she wouldn't even be able to touch. It's a bit, yeah, it's kind of hard to play McCree here because of the Orisa. Since all they have to do is push up, Ryan just pins in, and once the enemies are behind the shield and no one really stops them from getting in front of the shield or like getting behind the shield, you're gonna get blasted, like you're gonna get exploded or you're gonna explode if they focus you. If they don't focus you, you can still not do enough damage because you, like if you have a Reinhardt for example, most of your damage, not most, but you're doing like damage as they walk forward and then you do damage as they are fighting here. But with Orisa, they can just line of sight and walk up or charge in. And they have a ton of shield break as well. So it's kind of unfortunate to be McCree here. I think you have to play far back, like really far back, even if they have shield. So in this position with Orisa, play back here when the shield is here, just so that there's distance between enemy frontline and you. And yeah, the Orisa is talking about having gold damage and all that, and I know how it is with Orisa. Like you hit a ton of headshots that don't do anything, they get healed up, and then you have bongos. When you pop bongos, you just keep shooting and then you get gold damage, and then you tilt like this one right here. Not you body shit, but this Orisa is way too much in her own like little bubble, and I think if the Orisa would switch to Reinhardt, even Monkey, Reinhardt is actually better. It would be way easier for the team to play with her, because once you're being snowballed on Orisa, it's hard to stop it. Unless you have Hog, unless you have Widow, Hanzo, etc. that can punish. McCree can punish as well, but it's not as easy.
Ryan's one.
That's a nice high noon. Almost a cap here. Wow. Nice kill.
Kill the Mercy.
With the new Mercy, that doesn't, or not new, but like semi-new, you don't have to focus the Mercy as much since she doesn't res anymore. I mean, she doesn't instant res. Back when the instant reses were like a thing, that's when Mercy should have been focused all the time, but you can sort of forget the Mercy because she's among the worst supports right now. And for example, if they have a Zen, he's way higher priority than a Moira, for example, sleeping or not. It depends on like position and how much cover he has. But yeah, you can ignore the Mercy because also, as well, when she's Valking, it's kind of hard to hit her and she's auto-regening.
Reaper left. Reaper left.
Yeah, you see what I mean. Your Orisa, she's not trusting her own shield. Or like her shield placement. So she's basically playing McCree. And you're like expecting support from the Orisa, but she has shown that she doesn't really care for supporting. Or she doesn't know, maybe she doesn't want to. Maybe she is just not feeling it, you know. It happens. And you have to play further back. And you can still kill the Reaper from here. And I think the reason you're so far up is because you're looking for more value, more value.
Reaper left. Drop for tire. Hog's coming on the left.
If we, I just want to show another thing here. Usually, what I do, I think of the corners as like rule of thumbs where I cross and where I don't cross. So for example, this corner, right, this zone right here, this is like the no zone, no-go zone. We don't go further than this line. In here, this zone, this is the go zone. And do that with every corner basically, depending on where the enemies are. So if the enemies are right here, you wouldn't walk. Oh, actually, let's change it up.
Drop for tire.
So, an example, Hog is right here, which would mean that the enemies are probably here, and you don't cross this corner because you don't see what's on the other side, and if you make that rule of thumb, like I don't know what's on the other side, you don't. You won't face check then. It's like if you ever have played League of Legends, it's the same as face checking brushes that don't have wards in them.
Hog's coming on the left. Reaper might have ult. Huge. Junk's on the left. Junk on. More behind. We're in main. Ryan's one.
Oh, you got saved.
Back to full. Reaper's going to cart. Back to full.
Okay, so Reaper goes cart. That's totally fine. What you want to do is you want to back off here, because if you back in, like if you follow the Reinhardt, you will have a Reaper in your back, and if you go outside but still backing, you can shoot the Reinhardt on the other side.
On the cart.
And you have your tanks able to contest cart. Whoops, sorry. Sometimes I accidentally touch the pop filter here. That could have been a clutch shatter, but yeah. Like if you, not for you like personally, but for your team, you cleaned up the enemies before that. Not lucky, like thankfully, I mean.
Got it. Genji and I are flanking around behind.
Just keep annoying your Reinhardt here. The best time or like the best value as Tracer versus Reinhardt is when you go behind his shield. Like that's the most annoying thing as Reinhardt. And that's something Coco told me even. And many more Reinhardts, of course. I've never thought of escaping like that, but that's a smart thing. That's a really smart one. I've never thought of that boat.
Watch out for tire.
What you want to do now, since everyone is shoving main, you want to go on the bridge to your right, basically.
Nice.
Or you just go through to the left here and flank them again behind his shield. Nice kill. You notice that since you're playing in main, it's kinda chaotic for you as Tracer because there's like damage from everywhere. And the reason for that is because everyone in your team is simply coming from one place and enemies are just focusing one direction, not necessarily one target. So if you come from left or right, you take less damage, much less damage, and so does your team because someone in the enemy team is gonna focus fire you, and then you just shift like the resources your way.
Kill this Mora, she's one. Nice. Soldier. Soldier one, soldier. Nice. This brig's low.
Okay, so I'll show you how to outplay the brig here. So you get brig low, you recall. What you want to do now is you have 24 shots. You don't really need to shoot as soon as shield is up. So once shield is up, or you can actually do it this right now. You blink forward, you melee, and then you blink, but you do it like almost simultaneously. You do the blink 0.1 seconds later. So yeah, first melee and then blink. And as you're blinking, you then turn around and you shoot her in the back of the head. And that's a secure kill.
This brig's low.
And you can do it while Reinhardt is walking up. So instead of backing off, you just use your blink, melee, keep shooting. She doesn't have her stun either, because she just used it. And you were full HP.
Alright, nice. We just walk this one in.
Be really careful with how you use recalls. So like, you could have instead of your recall, because you would have landed in your team, you can take the mega here. You have 2 blinks, double blink, then walk inside, come back, or from here you just wait for your blinks, blink over, and fight.
Alright, just let him burn ults here. It's good. Make sure we don't use any of ours.
You want to find a pulse as you're fighting, because you're gonna build a new pulse really quickly. And I'll see. Right here, instead of blinking back, you should double blink forward. Okay, so double blink forward, turn around, and throw your bomb and keep holding S. And walk in here. It's kinda like feeling like you're Neo in Matrix. That's how you have to play Tracer, like sometimes when you're... That's how you have to play Tracer when you're in main and everyone is facing you. You have to like enter Matrix and do like sick plays. Not sick plays, it's not that sick, because all you're doing is blinking instead of panicking. You're panicking because you see a ton of people in front of you. But since you have 3 blinks, you have 1 blink to escape with as well.
Alright, just let him burn ults here.
Right now you could double blink to payload. You could stay on payload, push it a bit, or you can also go for the brig.
It's good. We don't use any of ours.
Or is it the pulse bomb, then blink 180 blink combo? I think, okay, so you can do you can queue up pulse. Okay, so you do it like this. First you queue, This is like the most perfect combo you can do. You Q, then you go into blink, and you blink, and then you turn 180. That's like the most perfect thing you can do right there, I think. But that's kind of hard to do. That's really hard to execute this. You need to practice it a lot. So instead, you can do blink, blink, Q, and then 180. Or even you can even do 180 and then Q, because it's not that super high rank. So like your opponents won't have like the reaction, right? The perfect reaction against you. It's like math almost.
Kill this Ryan.
It looks like you really want to pulse this, Ryan. So again, right here, you can blink only one blink, and you can stick it into someone. You can also just turn around as you're pressing Q. I think just try to be more confident in your own blinks, and like when you set a sticky pulse, because it looks like you want to go for the more one-dimensional pulses.
Sorry, on the left.
And that makes Tracer kinda inefficient. You're not using all of her tools, because you can use almost every action as you're blinking. That's unfortunate. It happens. Sometimes we just take on too many things at once.
You should push forward, Ryan.
That's a nice headshot. Watch out for the shatter. You can see his shatter. So you want to position yourself much further back so you don't get caught in it.
Ryan behind. Kill this Ryan. It's way up. Yeah, regroup.
Yeah, since you saw the shatter, you should automatically like think the enemies will engage into our Reinhardt and then possibly push to me. So if you don't play as far forward, you don't have to just react randomly with your abilities. Or it might feel random, but it's not really random. Like here, when he flashed, let's see, right here, no, soon. So you hear someone stepping, but it's actually just your Anna. Oh no, it's the soldier here. Let's see. Yeah, it's the soldier. He jumps from here over to the crates, I think. I'm not sure if he actually... No, actually he jumps from the window. So you see the soldier, but then Anna comes out. And you sort of just react to Anna. And if you just play a bit further back and take it easy, so you don't like stress yourself, then you'll easily save your flashlight... not flashlight, you save your flashbang. And you can just keep firing. Keep in mind that the shatter will stun you if the enemy Reinhardt angles it to shatter the whole choke. It goes under the payload. And above.
I'm gonna go try and get soldier off the high ground.
Perfect, I know. Well, not perfect, but good.
Still winnable.
You wanna aim flash above the shield as well? Like a normal
Nice.
Reinhardt shield.
Kill this Zarya.
Use your flash on her. Okay, nice. She should be dead.
Zarya one, nice. Ryan's one, Ryan one. Kill Ryan. Ryan's one. Hammond behind. Brig one. Nice.
You're lucky that Hammond doesn't go for you, because you won't be able to kill him. You're an easy kill right now for Hammond as well.
Moira behind. Hamster on cart.
Just high noon right here. Like if you high noon, they have to back off or shoot you. Okay, you do it even. Keep playing the crates here. It feels like you walk forward to hit more shots on the Pharah, and you don't really have to do that. You can keep the same position and use cover for dodging the rockets.
Zarya one. Touch card. Who's on?
Let's see here.
One. Zarya one.
Okay, your position is totally fine.
Nice. Stagger the Zarya.
You want to keep pushing up and see what the enemy has behind the shield, because you just killed 2 people. Okay, you actually do it. Use high noon here. Perfect timing. And you don't have to commit to the high noon to kill. You just zone and make enemies like look at you and buy time for your Reinhardt to engage on the enemy Reinhardt.
Ryan's one, run one. Don't get killed by mines. I'm trying to clear space.
Okay, use payload like safely now. The payload heals you as well.
Zarya behind. You gotta back out now. 3v6, back out. Cannot die here. Ryan behind. We gotta touch cart. Somebody touch cart.
A bit, yeah, unfortunate.
Touch cart. Back.
So let's see what went wrong. The Hammond is right in front of you. You don't have to push up here. I think it's wrong that you push up, because Hammond, he has a ton of HP. And you know for a fact that enemies are respawning coming in here. And then, because, I don't think it's because you push up, but the monkey jumps in. Which means that there's no one else to help you. And it's also really easy to take a ton of spam. You want to wait to push in main until the cart is around this corner, so you can use it as line of sight. And you want to keep an eye on the flank here, since no one else is doing it.
Zarya behind. Alright, we back out and regroup. We got time for one more push, but you gotta back out now.
I think it's worth switching Tracer here, maybe. But nah, it's not your switch. It's more like your Winston shouldn't be dead right now. That's the thing.
We gotta touch cart. Somebody touch cart.
Your Winston is diving super far. And so here's the thing. Last round, he was on a Riss, I think. And he was playing super passive. But when he's on Winston, he feels invincible and goes way too deep, and he can't be healed, then he dies, and that makes it really rough to play as McCree. And when that happens in ranked, you have to, like, you are forced to play super far back and play max range. If you can't find anything like out here to shoot, step in here and like shoot through like the hallway here. And you can flank as well, like flank, peek, you know, you peek, see if you can get some headshots. Oh, okay, it was the off tank, okay. But anyways, like if your like Winston goes super deep, you can't follow him as Winston, as McCree. Even if there wasn't a Zarya here, you never know if there's a Hanzo that can come, headshot you, Reaper, Brig, whatever. And you have to play as a glass cannon as McCree. It's basically Tracer without blinks and much more powerful shots. And no spam, yeah. So yeah, this was from BodyShotKing. Which VOD?